If you're a parent who feels like you're just constantly trying to figure out this intense, restless little baby of yours, well, you are definitely not alone. But what if all that behavior you see as difficult is actually the very first sign of a brilliant mind hard at work? Let's dive into that idea. First things first, let's just admit it. Parenting a really intense infant can be absolutely exhausting. It can feel like you're always trying to solve a puzzle that has no solution. A baby who won't settle down, fight sleep, or just seems perpetually unhappy. And it's completely natural to see these challenges as something that's wrong. We might think, oh, I have a difficult baby or a bad sleeper, and our immediate instinct is to find a way to fix it. But I want you to consider this. What if we're looking at this all wrong? What if these aren't problems at all? What if they're actually subtle clues? Clues that you're raising a child with an exceptionally active, intelligent mind that's just warming up. So let's try to reframe what we're seeing. We're going to look at a few really common behaviors, the ones that often feel like huge problems, and uncover the incredible cognitive processing that just might be happening right under the surface. Okay, let's start with a classic. The baby who is just impossible to keep entertained. You show them a new toy, and it's like within minutes they're fussy and already looking for the next shiny thing. What you see is a baby who gets bored really fast, but what a developmental psychologist sees is a fast processor. This is actually a known phenomenon. It's called rapid habituation, and it's one of the earliest measurable signs of high intelligence in infants. It just means their brain figures out and masters new things so quickly that it's already saying, okay, got it, what's next? And this is really the key shift in how we think about it. That restlessness you're trying to soothe, it isn't a flaw. It's a sign that their mind is just operating at a different speed. So instead of buying more and more complex toys, just try rotating them. Seriously, putting a toy away for just a few days can make it feel brand new again to their fast-moving mind. All right, now for the one that keeps so many parents up at night. You see a bad sleeper, a baby who fights every nap and wakes up constantly. But the hidden story here might actually be a highly active brain that just doesn't have an off switch. You see, those incredible neural networks that are soaking up the world all day long don't just power down when it's bedtime. Nope. They're still processing, they're still making connections, they're still learning. A really great strategy here is to create a wind down routine that's longer than you think you need. I'm talking 30, maybe even 45 minutes of quiet, low-light activity to help that busy brain transition into rest mode. And what about the baby who just stares? They'll lock their gaze onto a ceiling fan, or a shadow on the wall, or your face for what feels like forever. It's so easy to think they're just spacing out. But what if they're doing the exact opposite? What if they're actually focusing with incredible intensity? This is something called sustained attention. While another baby might just glance at something and move on, this baby's brain is running a deep analysis. They aren't just seeing the fan, they're studying it, learning its patterns, trying to figure out how it all works. And that endless cycle of dropping a toy from the high chair, you see them making a mess, right? But they're actually a tiny scientist at work. They are running experiments on gravity and cause and effect. You can totally support this by giving them safe things to drop, soft blocks, silicone spoons. You're not indulging a bad habit. You are fueling their very first physics lesson. So, here's the bottom line. Before we rush in to fix a behavior, it is so worth it to just pause for a second and ask, am I just seeing a brain that's operating on a completely different level than I expected? Now, this intense processing isn't just about objects and patterns. It goes way deeper. into their social and emotional world. Let's take a look at how these babies are uniquely tuned in to all the people in the environment around them. Does your baby seem to pick up on the vibe of a room instantly? You might see a baby who is overly sensitive or fussy. Maybe they start crying the second there's a little tension in your voice. But this could really be a sign of a baby who is deeply, deeply emotionally attuned. They don't need to understand the actual words you're saying. Their brains are already processing all the subtle stuff, the tone, the warmth, the stress. And you know what that means? It means managing your own stress is one of the best ways you can support them. When you're calm, you're creating a stable, predictable emotional world for their highly sensitive system to navigate. And what about imitation? You stick your tongue out, and your tiny baby sticks theirs right back. It's adorable, of course, but it is so much more than that. When this kind of thing happens early and with real precision, it's a powerful sign of accelerated learning. Their brain is basically building a model of the world by mirroring it back with incredible speed. And then there's the quiet observer, the baby who seems to just study people, watching interactions from across the room, tracking every little expression. You see a quiet, watchful baby. The reality might just be an early social scientist gathering data. This intense people watching is the very beginning of something psychologists call theory of mind. And it's the fundamental skill for all social intelligence. It's the understanding that other people have their own thoughts and feelings. And for some babies, that research project starts on day one. So, what does this all actually look like day to day? Let's put it together. Here's a simple little checklist to help you spot your child's unique intelligence in action and help reframe what you're seeing every day. So on the left, you've got the behavior you see, and on the right, the powerful cognitive signal it just might represent. From that intense staring to the irregular sleep, each one of these tells a story of a mind that's working overtime. Now, this isn't about diagnosing your child or anything like that, but it is about understanding the why behind what they do. And this is really the key thing to take away from all this. True intelligence in a baby isn't loud. It's not obvious. It doesn't come with a sign. It's quiet. And it often hides inside the very behaviors we find the most challenging, the ones we're trying so hard to manage or even stop. So maybe it's time to change the question we're asking. Instead of asking, why is my baby being so difficult? We can start asking with a real sense of wonder, what incredible things is their mind figuring out right now? And honestly, that changes everything.